he was like, when time passes, like let's say in December somewhere there, you'll be the one to tell me, to say, babe, when are you engaging me? Yeah. And I'm like, no, you're talking to marriage. You're talking marriage too soon. You know what I mean? He's like, you will. So when December, actually November, I was like, when are you popping the question? I mean, you're wasting time. I'm like, pop the question already. But he wasn't. And it was so annoying. And then when the time came, I remember that day I went to the salon. I was like, I want to do my hair. I think I was very low that day. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I was so low. I went to the salon, I did my hair, did my nails, and my best friend told me to say she needed me because her boyfriend hit her or something like that. So I was so upset.
Whoa.
Wow. I was so angry, and she knows how to just get to me. Yeah. So she was like, please, I need you to take me somewhere, like somewhere away, like even at a place where I can just be with you and everything.
Forget a bit.
So I was like, okay, I'm so angry right now. So I went to pick her up, and then I was like, where do you want to go? And she was in tears. She was crying.
Really?
And all this was part of the plan?
I know, right? Wow. And I was so pissed. I'm like, oh my God. So, when I asked her, like, where do you want to go? What should I do for you? She was just crying. I can't believe he did this to me. Just take me anywhere. I'm like, where? Maybe horseshoe? Like,
that's random.
So we went there, and I was talking to her. She was crying and telling me this story that wasn't making sense. But then, because she was in tears, I was trying to reason with her. Yeah. So then, while she was talking to me, then I don't know, like I was in the moment with her, and then all of a sudden, the management for that place just came to me. No, I hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm like, what's with the service? I mean, what's going on? Yeah. Just enjoy our music. Then immediately after she says that, I hear a familiar voice singing a familiar song. I'm like, I know that voice because my man can really sing. He started to sing for me, and I was like looking for the voice. Where is it playing? And I couldn't figure it out. Yeah. Until we just saw everybody dressed in white. They all came out. My sisters, my friends, his friends, like everybody just came to surprise me. I was in shock. I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Was so romantic and really good.
How do you say no?
You know what I mean? Even if you plan to say no, you'll be like, yes.
So did they bring you like white clothes too? Like, oh, there you go.
He had it all figured out.
Yeah?
Yep. He had it all figured out. And I was wondering, we got the dress. I'm like, this dress. And he got me shoes, and everything was like so perfect. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And it was all planned out really good.
So that was the engagement. When is the big day?
Big day. We're going to have our wedding on the 17th of December.
Can we come?
Yes.
Please?
I will think about it.
We're doing live broadcasts. We're live at Franciar's wedding right now. Yeah, Chrome's at the high table just popping champagne.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I'm picturing
we ain't having any champagne.
All right, so where did you guys meet? Can we say who this person is?
Of course, I'm so proud.
Oh, wow. So where did you and Maynaj meet? I mean, he's been in the background for a lot of artists, a lot of media productions. Sure. Where did you meet?
Actually, weirdly, I met Maynard through my sister Rose. They were like almost best of friends. So I didn't like him actually. I hated the guy. It was like, this guy he's such a goof. Like, I mean, who does that? Like, sometimes I would like question, like, maybe he's gay. What's wrong with this guy?
He's listening, right?
I know. And like, look, because I'll be proud to say my husband has like so many personalities. He's such a great character. He can switch to being a Chinese. He can act like a girl. He can do whatever. So when he's directing, when shooting and everything, and he wants you to bring yourself out during the movie shoot or anything, he will try and do what he's expecting you to do. So when we were shooting, and I'm looking at him, and he's trying to act like a girl, and he's trying to describe how he wants the character to be, and I'm like, is this guy straight? What's going on?
So you were filming something when you
met? So that's the time. No, we met before that. And that time he was like into dreams and blah blah. So the time we became like really close was the time we were shooting the movie Guilt, the one that's currently showing on Zambezi Magic right now.
Yeah.
So that's the time we became so close, and surprisingly, he's the one that led me to Christ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He literally changed my life. And
yes.
Yeah.
So you've changed your style of music, and you were telling us a story about how that happened.
Do you want to know the whole story, or you want me
not
to
the
cut it
whole
short?
thing, but like maybe something you can nibble on when it comes
how
to
I
the story.
started or how I stopped.
Yeah, like, did you have it in your mind before it actually happened?
That you'd
Did you ever feel you'd ever do this? Because you started with Umutoko Fiompo.
Of course. But I'll take you back a little bit. Hey, before I started Umutoko Fiompo, I've always been a church girl. Like, I've always been in the praise team. You know what I mean? So, it's something that I've always had within me. Like, I've always been the worship leader in church and stuff. So when I began singing, when you're being directed and you're being told what to do, it's not what you want to do, but what you're told to do. So this is what's cutting. Now, Franciar, you need to do something funky. You're pretty and everything. So when you come out hard, and people will love this and everything. So I'm like, cool, let me try it. I was actually never a rapper. I didn't even know how to rap. I had no idea. But because of the fact that I'm a fast learner, I can do anything at all.
Yeah.
I decided to do it, and it came out, But it's always something. It's something that I've always had within me, like doing gospel. When I do it, I feel at home. I feel good about it. So it's something I've been battling with myself. Say, how am I going to do this? How will people take me now that I've got this huge fan base? Are my fans going to accept me?
Exactly.
The gospel industry, will they take me serious? Will they accept me and where I'm coming from, or they will judge me? That was one of the fears and challenges I used to have when trying to convert from secular to gospel. But when I met Maynard, he kind of directed me to Christ, and he taught me through it, together with my uncle Apostle Daniel Mkandawire, who literally baptized me to become born again, and I gave my life to Christ. 2013 October, that's when I gave my life to Christ. So since that time, and becoming so close to Maynard, my spiritual father, who's also my uncle, was guiding me through it. And on the other hand, Maynard was also praying with me, I used to get all these attacks, like spiritually. I used to get, it's such a deep story, really. Wow. And I'm trying by all means to cut it short. Yeah. So, Maynard would take me through. I would have spiritual attacks, dreams, weird stuff going on within me, and but
is that Maynard, because of you doing secular music, do you think?
Let me tell you something. When you're not born again, and you're not into so much of Christ's side, it's like the best platform for the devil to use you. I'm not trying to look down on secular music, but personally, when I was in the secular industry, I used to do crazy stuff. Okay, I used to be a crazy girl, crazy Franciar. I would do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. So during that lifestyle, it's like when you change from doing what the devil enjoys and he's controlling your life, when you step up and take the full armor of God and say, you know what, I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna worship God, and I will go back to where I belong, and that's with Christ. The devil gets upset and he will attack you to and from, so you go back to where you were. But those are the attacks that you have now, because he wants you to go back. He's not happy with what you're doing. So those are the attacks I'm talking about. So it was rather
quite
real.
A battle, isn't it?
It was real.
Yeah. Wow.
But
interesting.
But with Christ, everything is possible. It was hard, but it didn't happen in one day. I didn't change in one day. Yeah. It was something that I had to grow into, with mentorship, with guidance, with, of course, my Maynard, my spiritual father guiding me through. Yeah. And then I met Pastor Gladys Paswani, who's my spiritual mother, for Set Apart, if you've heard an organization called Set Apart. So she's the one that has been mentoring me and guiding me through everything, through the word. So I've been surrounded by good people.
Well, amazing. We still have lots of Franciar still here on the show. Just now we take a short break. And remember, okay, she's also going to be letting us know if she's had a few bad dates in the past. Much as Mr. Man is listening, okay? We want to know. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Talking to Franciar here on Route 997. That's the Power Promo Zone track for this week. Truth Baller featuring Breezy with Sex Stream. And if you want your song to play on the Power Promo Zone and you're an upcoming artist, make sure you come through to the 3rd floor of Lusaka House on the corner of Ben Bella and Lumumba Roads. Drop off your CD, and who knows, you might just be the one that takes up the spot. Remember, we still have Franciar in the studio.
Yes.
Still have her here. All right, so let's talk about your bad dates. Tell us that one date that you still
get goosebumps and like, what were you thinking?
Can I be honest? I've never really paid attention to dates, and I've never really had a bad date.
Really?
Because before I started dating my husband.
Oh, look at her blushing.
Before I started dating him, I was in a very serious relationship for like 5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So this bad date thing wasn't really my thing because I was really committed to the person I was dating then. Yeah.
So you never had like guys try to holler at you and then you're like, oh, he seems like a cool guy. Maybe we could go out. And then on the date, it kind of like just
goes sour.
Like, what's this guy doing? Nothing like that.
When you love someone, when you're in love with someone, you don't really pay attention to other people. Yes, I've had people hitting on me, so many, but I just didn't pay attention to that.
Now that you're a gospel artist, do people still hit on you?
Oh, of course.
Because I know it's a gospel artist, so it's like.
Let me tell you something. Even when you're gospel, you're still a human being.
I know, right?
Still, people will still come up to you. People will still come up to you and be like, yeah, I know you're engaged, but are you okay?
Exactly.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
And speaking of, now changing to gospel, you were just telling me before we started how you were about to release your circular album and in the moment decided not to.
Okay, that wasn't really a circular album because it was I can say it was the gospel because it was I titled that album The Voice because I wanted to be the voice of the world. So in this album, I spoke about so many situations. I spoke about gender-based violence. I worshipped, of course. I spoke about my life history. That's on the dedication to my dad, the Namiewa song. I spoke about so many issues, peer pressure.
So it was conscious.
It was more of the conscious side. Yeah. So during that time, I remember Stan and I worked so hard. I remember when we get in the studio, we would be there from 8 o'clock, and I'll be headed home at 23 to midnight.
Wow.
The whole day.
Wow.
We'll be like recording and stuff like that. But when we were done, we did everything we could actually. October 2014, on the 9th. To be precise, I did a media launch. I actually invited all the media houses, including
How?
Yes, I did, and it was so successful. And I was so ready to release my album. And then I remember very well the countdown to 2015. I was actually at church leading worship, and when we were done with the countdown. I don't know. I think whilst I was worshiping, God just spoke to me. He just, where you just get rebuked saying, you're not going to release that album. First of all, my husband told me about it, say, Franz, you will need to record some worship. I see you recording a worship album. Like I see you putting this album away and just doing like, dude, you're joking. Because I think that time we were best of friends. We were not even dating. So I'm like, you're joking. I have worked hard for this album. I can't you know what I mean? Yeah. And again, some men of God told me, we see you doing worship album. I don't know. I was like, yeah, amen. Hey. You don't, I know, you don't know where I'm coming from. You don't know how hard I worked for this, and you tell me, oh my God.
Nights.
And I told myself, so you know what? Yes, I'm going to do a worship album after I do this album. When it sells, then afterwards, then I'll do another album, which is a worship. But when I was doing worship on 2015 New Year's Eve, 2014 New Year's Eve, I was like, God just spoke to me that night, and I remember very well. He just rebuked me, said no.
How do you, when you say God spoke to you, what do you mean? For somebody who
you don't literally hear the voice of Franciar. Behold,
it is I.
Do not be afraid. No.
Yeah, but what does that mean when you say God spoke to you?
You feel it. You feel it deep within you. You feel it. There's always something that tells you to do something. And for me, I always take. When something is very positive and when I'm praying, hey, there's always a voice within me talking to me to do this, and when I do it, it always happens. When I'm praying and something within me tells me, touch that soul, touch that person, speak to them, tell them this. When I tell them, and it turns out exactly what's going on.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Prophetess.
So
yeah.
I don't take that casually. I take that to be God speaking to me.
Yeah.
So even with the worship album, I mean with that revelation I had when I was doing worship, I felt God spoke to me. I was praying. I was in the middle of worship, and people were praying, worshiping, and within me the same voice that always talks to me told me, say, begin to worship because this is what I want you to do. Okay. And before I actually said what I felt, one of the pastors in the church stood and said, this was powerful. He prayed for me and he said, this is what I see you doing. And it was exactly what I heard within me. And I was like, this is a confirmation. Yeah. This is a confirmation. Okay. So I listened to that and I decided to just take a drastic decision. And Stan was like, I don't blame you. I don't. Even if it hurts.
I was going to ask, what was Stan's reaction? Because he also, switched.
Yeah, like, where you work so hard together and then suddenly all his work and production, you just go like, Stan, I'm not releasing this anymore. I mean, he was upset, but then he was like, Francia, I've been there. I've been a gospel artist before and I understand you. I know where you have come from. So this is you and this is God, nobody else. You need to do what God is asking you to do. And I did just that. Okay.
All right, so let's get to Valentine's.
Yep.
What do you think is the perfect gift to give a lady on Valentine's Day?
Okay, for the singles, it's an engagement ring.
Emphasize that.
Besides that, well, okay, for me, I think it's just you just express love to that person. It doesn't need to be material all the time. Sometimes you don't have money.
It's true.
Sometimes you don't have money. Then what? Yeah. Are you going to say there's no Valentine's? Because dude, sweetheart, honey,
yeah, it's
maybe
wild.
It's wild today. We are just going to sleep. But I think it's the heart that matters. It's what you share that matters. Sometimes you can even you can just be at home and watch movies together, cuddle, share popcorns.
Thank you. Last time I was saying you could give chicken.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's the love. Valentine's is all about love. It's not all about how much S6 you're gonna receive. Sometimes you can receive such an expensive gift from a dude, but maybe you don't even share that love between the two.
That's true.
That's true.
You don't even share anything, but you receive it. So I feel it doesn't have to be all materialistic all the time. Sometimes just you guys being together, just two people spending time together. And I think also we shouldn't exclude our parents. Sometimes, even if you're single, please don't go out looking for a man to share Valentines or looking for a girl to go and share. Oh my God, I need a Valentine. Yeah. Valentine, where are you? I speak. Oh, Valentine. No. I think you can actually even spend your Valentines with your mother. Spend your Valentine with your siblings. Share love. You can have that family thing, family dinner kind of thing. It's not always about the ish thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can actually just share love. It's just all about love.
You come from a family, with other musicians as well. There's Flexville Mali, there's Rose. How have they embraced you changing to gospel?
Okay. My sister Rose has always supported me, and from day one, it's something that both me and her have actually always received from people telling us, you guys are worshipers. Why do you always waste your talents? You guys should do this. So it's, for me, I think she was the first one who understood me when I switched to gospel. Of course, she would have all these questions, because when I started this transformation, I'll do things a certain way. I won't do what I used to do, because when you're a freak to being a freak. She used to be a freak. when you're all crazy and all that kind of thing, and then you change to a whole different person. Yeah. And sometimes I look back and say, oh my God, this is what I was. Oh my
So you don't listen to your old music no more?
Thank God. No. I do. I can listen to it, and I just smile and say, wow.
Really ravishing.
You people are distracting me. I need to explain myself here. Devil, get behind me.
And then I also, know for a fact you have a close relationship with Mampi, and you're on Maki 2's wedding lineup, and these are your friends and fellow artists as well. Yeah. And coming out to say, look, guys, this is what I want to do now. This is what I feel is my calling. Mm-hmm. Was there encouragement there?
For me, I didn't have to explain myself. Of course, the only person that I got to talk to was Mampi, because Mampi is like an older sister to me. So when she heard my music, she was like, Franciar, this is not the usual you. I know you to be a crazy person, but what's wrong? I'm like, this is what I'm going through. And that's the time when I was really confused. I would tell her, this is what I feel, but I don't know how to bring myself out. She was like, you have to believe in yourself. She actually encouraged me to say, if this is what your heart is, this is what God wants you to do, you need to go for it. You need to. But I didn't really have to explain to my fellow secular artists to say, guys, this is what I'm doing. No, I just changed. And believe me, most of them made fun of me. Most of them would, actually they did. They would, hey, pastor, reverend. If it's Mark too, he would be like, prophetess. Because I remember he asked me to feature on one of his songs, and it was like, oh, crazy and stuff. And I was going through this phase, and you need to set boundaries. You can't really do certain things. And I was like, Mark, this is a very difficult time for me. Yeah. So I hope you can understand that I can't do it. Yeah, Reverend. Yeah. Prophetess. I'm like. So yeah, they made fun, but they've accepted me now. They respect me for that.
That's really nice. Yeah. All right, so before we let you go,
why are you letting me
album? You want to stay here? We could keep you here all day.
We have no problem.
We have no problem having you here.
We're not done. You people keep asking about me. We're not talking about love here.
Yeah, well, speaking about love, your album, we know you're going to put out some good music that everyone's going to love, right? So when are you going to drop it out?
My husband and I haven't really spoken of the date, but it's actually this year, because I'm currently recording a worship and praise album. Yeah, I'm working on a worship album right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna drop this year, but I will not say when.
Okay.
Just be expectant.
Before the wedding, maybe?
I will not say.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
it's
very
been
much for having me.
amazing. It's been amazing. And it's also good to hear, you know, from you some of the things you went through and, you know, how this transition happened.
Yeah.
Because I think it gives your fans a clear perspective as well as to how this came about. Because I think a few people were a bit like, how do we know she's not going to go back? How do we know this is not just for the moment?
They always ask those questions. But, you know, I'm proud enough to say what I went through and what I used to do as an artist, so that I use what I went through as a way to minister to people out there that are going through what I went through, or maybe even worse, so that they can change and turn to Christ. You know what I mean? It's never too late to change. It is not even impossible to turn to Christ. And it's a great feeling.
Yeah. It's amazing right there.
Yeah.
We've been talking to Franciar. Looking forward to more music coming out. We don't have a release date for the album. But anytime this year. Stay tuned. This Route 997.